Hmm. All right. Is that working? Kind of. What's up, guys? Hmm. Let's talk politics. I'd rather not. JPY tenure. It's a bit elevated. What's up, Bob? All right. Let's save that for Discord. Hey, nuns. What's up, G-Wagon? Where did you say hi to Bob and not me? Where did you say hi? Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. Your hay got obfuscated. Trying to get this fucking. Where the fuck is Epic Pen? Why is it not working? There we go. All right. Cool. Let's talk about make the perfect codpiece armor. You want to show that you're endowed, but you don't want to make it disruptive. Hmm. There's a. I gotta find it for you. Hold on. I'll send you the link. Ah, here it is. Today could be one of the most important days of my. All right. There you go, popcorn. Let's talk about. It all starts with the proper measurements. I'm not getting into this again. You have to do the bone press measurement. Somebody typing win hat repeatedly in the chat there. Listen, I have to go to a UPS store and talk to people. The disrespect here. Put some mustard on my name. Dijon? One of my kids didn't recognize Air Force One during the Daytona 500, so I made them watch Air Force One with Harrison Ford. I'm doing my part. Excellent. Thanks, Mac. So that's D-Gen. No, you don't. You can just print the label at your house and drop it in a box. But I need hat packaging. What do you think? I'm going to package them myself? I don't even know what you ship a hat in. I've got so many logistical concerns to overcome. What's up, Poopy? I assumed you have a box. No. And I've got to ship like 12 hats to several different countries and states. Fiverr? Let them do it for you. All right. It's a tax write-off, I guess. Huh. We could go that route. I bet the UPS store can help you measure for a cod piece while you're there. Maybe. It's hard to pose the question the right way, though. And do you really need to weigh? Well, maybe. What's up, Crypto? Welcome back. How's the CFA shit going? Are you an expert in hedging Delta yet? CFP? Oh. Examine March. Nice. What's Delta? What's a hedge? Oh boy. Well, so Squamsk, if you do that, you just lose money to Theta. Like the stream, it really helps. Yeah, I think it does. I don't know. No one ever likes it, so it's hard to tell. You should have a feature where you become less transparent as more likes come in. I could do that anyway. I should bump up my opacity. Opacity? Anyway. So you guys gave me some stocks that Carl sent. I'm starting to think that maybe not all of you. Oh, Carl's wife is near the top of the list. Maybe not all of you are privy to the ranked choice voting that we have for this. But in the Pickles Picks discussion channel, you can vote for tickers. And then, thanks, me too. And then those are the tickers that I review on the stream. Why are they garbage tickers? I mean, sometimes you guys choose dog shit. I don't know. I don't know why you guys trade that stuff. I assume hanging out on Wall Street bets too much, or like our short squeeze. You're welcome, Garrick. I probably appreciate your clear diction and expanded working vocabulary more than anyone else here. Thanks. Some other people here probably took the SAT also. Actually trying to use insurance more. All right, let's get started, right? Because I don't want to waste my whole day doing this. I took the chat. Excellent. All right. I'm going to ignore Ligma, Carl's wife, and D's nuts because I think they're delisted. And then we'll get started. 7 of you for FUBO. Really? What the fuck is wrong with you guys? It's $4. It used to be $1.50. Now it's $3.50 to $4.50. I don't understand what the interest is. The poorest have spoken. Yeah, but they're retarded. That looks boring. Hmm. Let's see. IWM still looks like a bag of poop. Hmm. All right. We'll take a look at the options chain, I guess. Gamma Max is staying roughly around like 460, 470. Picked up a little bit of delta on the move up, but that might have just been on the crossover at $4. Gamma fell off a bit on Friday. There's some upside up to like $5. Not much after that. Let's take a look at the OPEX. Most of the sold puts at $4 are for this Friday. Yeah, it looks okay to move up a little. I mean, 4 should be pretty supportive as long as it can stay above it. 49. 500, 11,000. 15,000 calls. 15,000 calls on at 5 for Friday? Yeah. So I would say as we move toward expiry and the short calls to the upside fall off, it'll probably pick up a little bit of vol. God, HV is still so blown out. Realize vol and IV30 are both picking up a little bit. IV10's still pretty flat. Yeah, there's nothing really stopping it from moving up. So let's go with what color do I want to use today? I'm gonna use blue. Earnings is pre-market on the 28th, next Friday. Okay. Well, you know the deal. I mean, increased implied volatility into earnings helps push off the short vol, or at least the at the money and near expiry short vol. So, I mean, that's generally bullish on FUBO. Like if you go look at like their prior earnings dates, I'm sure you already know this shit, but I'll say it for the benefit of everybody. Like generally going into earnings, FUBO gets like a little bit of positive price pressure and then shorted into the actual earnings. But this has been going on for some time now, like the positive momentum into the earnings calls. At least the last four, definitively. Mm, mm. These were more of a surprise. This one did pretty well. Uh, I got a little bit of a lift, not much, but it did. They did well at earnings on both of these. So it was, um, less of a shocker. But yeah, I mean it's pretty consistent that you get some little bit of positive momentum going into them. It's not a ton, but it can be like a really good opportunity to sell calls on the higher IV or to be long into into the earnings. Anything noteworthy on SMR? Nah, I don't know if it's on the list, but we'll find out. It's not. So, all right, what's next? BTU. BTU looks like it's finally finding that lower floor around like 16, 14. Still a lot of uncertainty with China's economy and uncertainty with how tariffs are going to affect energy globally. Obviously, coal is one of the easier ones to short there. Um, but I would expect that we'll still at some point see a turnaround in commodities. This is a decent price for BTU. I might be willing to like sell puts here if it's fairly well supported. We can check out the options chain, although not usually heavily influenced by its options chain. Like 197 billion in market cap, and then total gamma on the chain is 114 million. So it's like one 1%. Not great. 10%. Hmm. 0.5. Hmm. Roughly 0.6. 0.06. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say the options chain matters here that much, but it seems to be slightly supported at gamma neutral. VN continues to fall, which isn't a particularly good look. Um, but again, I don't think these metrics have a huge amount of importance for this stock. Um, yeah, there's still a lot of sold puts down here at like 16, but a bunch of those fall off this Friday, and it doesn't look like equivalent amounts of them have moved further out. I mean, there's like a few hundred on like 321, 417, and then July. And then down here at 15, there's quite a lot of open interest on the leap expiration. So it may be that 15's a bit more supportive, and support at 16 kind of falls away after after this after this Friday. So still some room to the downside. It doesn't look like implied volatility is picking up very much over the 30-day. That seems to still be coming down. Realized vol's a bit elevated, um, but not so much over like 60 days, and still picking up over the 10-day period. Longer dated volatility is still pretty stable. There is room to move to the upside. But I would say like the downside's probably more likely here. There's resistance to the upside at 17, support at 15. So let's cover that. B2 has a dividend Wednesday. That's a great time for it to break down to $15. Did PAX make the list? No, but we could talk about it if I have time. Oh, Jimmy. Gross. Alright. Let's take a look at GME. Ryan Cohen announced that they're going to splurge all their shareholders' money on Bitcoin while it's at the top, which is just genius. He's going to try to kill the Bitcoin market just like he killed the NFT market. ARB is negative. Looks like the brief bounce on the announcement got kind of crushed. Lower highs, no, higher highs, higher lows so far. Liquidity seems to be in a pretty good spot. Correlation decent. There might be a little bit more covering on this. But it's still falling a bit short of something more interesting. Let me look at something here. There may be a little bit of a blow off on like T1, but I don't know how that's going to be affected with the holiday. Overall, vol looks like it's falling. Seems like the spike on Friday got the shit shorted out of it. We can take a look at the options chain though. Not in too much of a different place than it was, although there does appear to be a little bit more interest on the shorter dated call side. So support at 27, a little bit of resistance at 28, but upside range of about 30. Not too much delta to the upside, except at 30, but a decent amount of support down at 25. Charm into the end of this week. It's a little bit supportive. Look at the full chain. Yeah. Like, it can push up to 30, but it might have a problem holding on to it. Out of the money shit's just sold calls. Ton of them at 32. It's like 35. 40. No major run unless one of those strikes gets in the money, or at least 30. IV is super fucking low right now on the IV 30. The IV 10's not much better. Realized vols picking up a little bit. That could be indicative of something. Let's see. Yeah, probably not going to go much higher than 30, 50. I guess there's some potential to go out to like 40. I wouldn't say it looks great. Let's see how it's not picking up a lot of delta or gamma over the last few weeks, and that hasn't really changed. This is probably the part that I would find most concerning is like no one's really piling in on the crypto news. So I mean it got some movement on the zero DTs, but then it looks kind of dead following the expiration. I'd want to see gamma or like delta pick up back towards 600 million or mm, like a billion. Right now it's pretty low. And it already kind of got the gamma max test. So yeah, I would say I'm not particularly bullish on it, but it could still chop around in like the 25, 27, 25 to $30 range. It's probably a little wider than that. So I'm trying to wait to sell CSPs on this because we went under GM. Would you be better off waiting to sell in the rise above GM for BTU? Crypto? Wiggly? Welcome back, man. Woo. I have a hot pink and black gamma hat. Gamma strike hat. It's so weird seeing you in a non-VWAP hat. Yeah, this is the new thing. Just chilling. Yeah, BTU. For CSPs? Or you generally don't want to sell CSPs at Gamma Max. You mean, do you mean neutral? I mean, there's a decent amount of support at 15. I don't think I would mind buying it at 15, given my current cost basis. But there's like a little bit of support here. So, I mean, a 15 low could be an opportunity, even if it is below DNGN. Remember that, like, the neutrals on BTU don't mean a lot because the total delta on the options chain is 0.05% of the market cap. So it's not like the underlying is like this dog is not being wagged by its tail. Isn't selling CSPs at VN kind of the perfect time? It just doesn't happen often. No, not necessarily. And I wouldn't use VN as an indicator of when and when not to sell CSPs. I mean, there's decent support at 15, which is really the only thing I'd be selling them against. Also, I don't really mind buying BTU at 15 bucks. It's not like coal power is going to go anywhere, at least not for a couple decades. Well, I became less transparent today. I reduced my transparency. I'm becoming more and more opaque. I miss opaque Kirk. That's fair. For now, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I would just be selling CSPs based on the price and the moderate support at 15. Not based on the options data. And Costco not $1,100. I don't know. I'm still reeling from my absolutely retarded Costco play last week that somehow made me money. Even though Costco was only down for one candle. What's oat cake? I would assume a block of oats. It's a stable business. Testing VN is rare. Not necessarily. VN gives you more of an indication of like longer dated out of the money options on an underlying. Like if you go look at like Amazon, yeah, sure, testing VN is pretty rare, but so is testing like GN and DN, right? Or if you look at like do we have Sherwin on here? Sherwin comes pretty close to VN a few times and stays under it. They're not like a bad business, right? They just don't have a lot of options interest on the chain. And so VN intersects with spot more frequently. Ball? Hmm. Interesting. Hmm. This could just keep falling though. Again, not a lot of options interest on this one. Hmm. Yeah, it doesn't look good. So it's more reliable for a high volume chain. Yeah. Yeah, if you get a chain that's got a pretty significant amount of delta, then VN's far more important. Otherwise, it's just going to be overly sensitive. The meatball on ball is wild. This how you tricked me into looking at another stock that I don't want to look at. It's not that wild. It just looks like somebody's shorting the fuck out of it at 47.50. Um, it probably won't go under 47.50 if that's any consolation. Like, it'd be really hard for it to move lower. Um, Although there's not a lot of room to the upside, like 55. Maybe it could climb out from there, but I think things would need to readjust quite a bit. Vol's picking up a little bit. Hmm. Yeah, just massive short pits at like 47 and 50. But it's not like people want to buy it higher, so I don't really know how bullish that is. There's a little bit of negative gamma to the upside that could fall off, and then 60 is a pretty hard resistance. So it might turn around, but I'd probably want to confirm it. Like, wait till it gets back over like GN or DN, because it seems to be having a bit of trouble stabilizing above those levels recently. Or at least wait till GN and DN get closer to spot. Like, if you get it falling through spot, that could be a good chance to go long. But yeah, not super influenced by that options chain. And when the neutrals aren't, you really need to go and dig down into the individual strikes and see what you're dealing with. Because all of the positioning is just concentrated around spot anyway. All right, what's next? I did GME. Oh, Carvana. Is it time to do a little short on Carvana? Support at 280. IB's kind of flattening out and realize Vol's dropping. That's interesting. Ooh. This is starting to top out a little bit. Might be the 280 strikes getting sold. How's IB10? IB10's still really elevated though. And they have earnings Wednesday. Hmm. Tough. I don't like shorting it prior to earnings. I still don't really think their earnings are going to be that bad, and there's upside room. Like, it could still move up to very easily up to 300. A little bit harder to get out to like 320, but not impossible. Let's look at this expiration. Yeah, so unfortunately, it still looks a little bullish. Win shark icon. Oh. Do we have enough people in here for me to tease them? I feel like we picked the worst time to drop like our teasing announcements. But yeah. So Nuke was bored last night and I gave him a scanner to build and he built it overnight and we got this. So this lets you look at delta and gamma exposure, and you can sort by bullish and bearish. You can look back, anywhere from 1 out to like 180 days. And you can choose whether you want to look at notional delta or change in percentage delta. And this is a really useful tool for people who are specifically managing like a portfolio. And you've got a bunch of stocks that you're long on, and you want to see how the options market is developing on those stocks. And so, say you want to look back like 30 days and look at percent delta change on your stock over that time. If you were long like WMG, you'd be pretty happy with where the delta is, where the delta is going on that options chain. Or if you're like long BB, that's been picking up quite a lot of delta recently, and quite a lot over the last 30 days. So you'd probably want to continue to stay long there, but maybe you're long like BBY. That's actually getting better too. Oh wait, because I selected bullish, right? Or no, here you go. Yeah, maybe you're long like Walmart. And Walmart Delta's kind of been decreasing over the last 30 days, and it might be nearing like a local peak, and so maybe you want to take that into consideration if you want to sell covered calls or something like that. It's been mostly pretty flat as far as Delta goes, and usually is. But Tesla's like another one. The total Delta on Tesla has been falling pretty dramatically since like December. And so back then it was at like 154 billion. Now it's down to about 72. So about 50% of the total Delta on the chain has fallen off, which is bearish. And as that continues to do that, you might want to brace yourself for continued downside. Something I would do in that kind of situation would be like sell in the money calls, and that way I could protect the upside improvement that I'd gotten in my stock without being as exposed to the downside. So I think really useful. And then on the other side of that, you have gamma, where you can look at what's moving quick, right? If you go out to the bullish gamma and you go over like one day, right? Like where has gamma rocketed in the market over the last day? You see like BBY picked up like a shitload of gamma over the last couple of trading days. It went from negative 4.6 million to positive 2.7. That really looks like it's starting to take off. And if that trend continues in the options market, boom. Sorted. It looks so much nicer when it's sorted. Um, was I not sorting it? Oh, yeah, there we go. Right, or ROIV. This one's picking up a bunch of gamma. It's very close to gamma max, so maybe it doesn't have quite the range that something like BBY would have. But Delta and gamma both picked up quite a bit on Friday. Looks like that gamma stayed through the expiration, and so this might be getting a pretty strong bounce off of gamma neutral. It might move back up. Last time it exceeded gamma max on the test by quite a bit. So, you know, so this is some. It's pretty simple, but it's a really useful tool for digging through all the stocks we have, and especially as we add more stocks, these scanners are going to become a lot more useful. And this is going to be available to like everyone. like the lower tier and the upper tiers. So you should all be getting your hands on it. We're gonna run it through some testing with the beta guys, and then probably release it over the next few weeks. Why won't you tell me to short Carvana for earnings? Because I don't want you to blow up another $10,000 for no reason. Exciting, thanks. No problem. Yeah. So, if you guys have any questions about that, just let me know. But it seems to be working exactly the way we want it to. Something that might be confusing on it, at least for the Well, team is gonna be so confused that this is prod and they don't even know it's coming. Whatever. We work fast, right? We gotta keep people on their toes. We have so much shit to push out of the pipe that it's like getting little stuff like this done is huge, and clearing space for the stuff that's gonna take a lot more effort. Just so you guys have a heads up, because this is in prod and available to you right now, for the beta people. Uh, these values are flipped from the nave. So remember that like more and more negative exposure on the MM is actually more and more delta on the total chain. So when you're looking at those DEX GEX charts, it looks like DEX is becoming more and more negative, which is correct under the nave assumption, but really confusing when you're trying to sort by, what's picking up options interest, what's losing options interest. And we'll probably rethink bullish, bearish, because it's not really the right way to think about it. It's probably more like expanding, contracting. Yeah, so it's the change in DEX over the look back period. So if you got to like 30 days, you can look at the percent change in DEX on stocks where the options like the options chain is contracting in total exposure. So something like HRB has lost, 50% of the delta that was on the chain over the last 30 days. Actually, has it though? Where's 30-day mark? That might not be sorting right. It's 11 million now. Hmm. Wait a goddamn second. It's gonna be 30 records, not 30 days. Oh, okay, I see. So it's not. Okay. It sucks for deleting it. Trading days. Yeah, I get it. But what's confusing there is that like HRB has only gained delta on the chain over like the last like 2 months. Like the current value is pretty much higher than all previous values since like Jan 17th, which is roughly 30 days ago. So I guess it's counting this drop from Jan OPEX. Yeah, because of the trading. All right, I got it. Yeah, so if you move that slider like to a shorter duration, you'll see that HRB falls off that list really fast. So if you look over like the last 15 days, like this Z has lost a pretty big chunk of gamma over the last, or delta over the last 15 days, which is from like Feb 6th. All right, yeah, it's working. we can mess with that though to make it a little bit more precise, or at least more like the way we want it, like expiration to expiration. Maybe that's how we should do it, just like prior Fridays instead of doing trading days. So you could look like how much has it lost from last OPEX to now, or last end of month till now. Don't give me that face. Quit. It's more intuitive. It's awesome the way it is, but we can always make it better. OPEX lines on charts? Maybe. So WMG is pretty bearish right now. Is it? No. I think WMG was super bullish. Yeah. It's picked up like 75.86 million delta on Friday. And it's picked up like 96.62 million over the last like 30 trading days, which is 741% more delta than it had. So this looks bullish as fuck. Every coder loves solving Julian calendar related issues around a data set. It's the most fun, isn't it? Or you know what, Nuke? If you want to make it really easy and not do that, you could just do it where it tells you what the date is on the look back days. So it just displays the date instead of 2 digits. That way you get a cheat having to actually pick like fixed dates. Perfecto. Yeah. And then people can figure out when the date they want to look at matters. If Rivian beats earnings, where can it go to? Shut your mouth, Rims and Tims. We're not looking at Rivian right now. I've got a whole list of stocks. And then I'll maybe look at Rivian if I'm feeling like I still like you then. And not threatened. Alright, SMCI is next. So SMCI failed to release their 10K again, I believe. Well, I hope everyone likes it, and if they don't, keep that to themselves. Obviously, SMCI picking up a ton of delta over the last few weeks as it moves into this earnings period. The 10K was expected, but has not been released yet. I don't know if that's going to have a negative effect on the price improvement here, but earnings were reported on time and they were, I believe above expectations. So I think, actually they missed a little on EPS. They missed on revenues. Like 1% surprise to the downside on revenues and earnings. So actually not that great. But I mean, it still puts them at a significantly higher valuation than they're at right now. So, it's a little bit of the earnings IV falling off there. This should have looks like it's got some upside room immediately out to 50. And then volatility already came down after earnings. That might start to pick up again. Looks like IV10 bounced on Friday. Realized vol is starting to pick up, and IV should pick up alongside that. Gamma gains to the upside are gradual but pretty consistent, up to higher strikes. So there is a chance that this could keep moving up. I mean, Gamma Max is definitely really, really far away from spot. Yeah, it's like up here at like 82. So quite a lot of potential there. This is a technical resistance at $48 from the prior high back in December. And a little bit of gamma fell off. So I would say it looks pretty bullish still, though. I'm not really sure what I would pick for price targets because gamma's a bit weird to the upside. But I would say like 50, 55, and 60 are important upside levels. All right, so let's write it up. It's the deadline, day of stream, 1 hour before stream for adding tickers for the weekend stream. I don't know. I think Carl closes it like the night before. But I mean, I'll see. I've got like a bunch to get through, but I'll see how much time I have left after. We're past the ones that actually had 2 votes. Everything else is just one. But I'll do some. I'll kind of just pick through those, and if there's some that are relevant, we'll take a look at them. Unity might be one that people are interested in. We got GN moving back above DN here. That's pretty bullish, actually. It's picking up both delta and gamma on the chain. Looks like there's a decent amount of room to the upside out to about $25. Volatility is probably rising. Yeah, realized vol's starting to turn around. And this could probably go even higher than 25, actually. It could probably go out to like 30 on a decent push. This actually looks really bullish. Ooh, I could use my new tool. That's like 5 trading days. Hmm. It's not showing up on there. I guess the changes in some. Oh, I probably just need to. Oh, that's right. I can just increase the result count. Yeah, Unity picked up about 15% more delta over the prior 3 trading days. Yeah, hard to. Should we ask, search for a specific ticker? We could, yeah. Or on the dashboard here, we could just put the Like day over day change percentage? Or put it in here in this like fucking blank space. Damn, this kind of looks bullish as fuck. What's GM at? GM's at 25.68. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. I'll write it up. I guess there's a little resistance at 22.50. But is that short dated? Just 23. 23 for this week. Alright, so I love the new scanner. How amazing. Thanks. Let Nuke know. Let Nuke know how super fucking awesome it is. When did I bring it up to you? Was it last night or this morning? I think it was last night at like, yeah, it was like 11 o'clock. So you just just built it this morning. Nuke's the best. All right, let's see what's next. Shop? Hmm. Hmm. Shop's looking a little blown out. But well supported at 25 and 20. Volatility's coming down on the 30-day pretty fast. 10, 60, 90. Okay, so a lot of short calls coming in. Okay. Uh, how much of that was earnings falling off? Earnings was like 3 days ago. And the beat was mediocre. They did beat, but not very Not very, on. Is that the semi company? Ooh, interesting. That's got a fucking long way to go. Autismo on steroids does wonders. Don't tell them about your brain drugs. Not a technical reversal yet. And they missed on earnings, but guided up. Margins seem fine. It's super underpriced relative to the rest of the semi shit. Realized falls coming up, but Ivy hasn't turned around yet. Maybe 10 turning up? No, but flattening out. Realized falls picking up really quick. 58? Game of flips at 58, but a breakout above. Okay. Mm, it's gonna be really hard to get over that. Actually. Give me 1 second. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, so this one looks like it could like bounce up, but it's gonna need to get some repositioning to move up higher on the chain, I think. There is some potential that like buying in the underlying could lead to like a breakout, but I don't like that Delta's falling off. Like Gamma's moving up, but Delta's starting to fall off. Um, so yeah, I mean, but above GN, it could like stabilize and then move up higher later. Maybe back towards like 65 or 67, but that's gonna take a little while. All right, Nvidia. Bunch of Delta fell off again on the 12th. Hmm. That might be getting pretty close to that 140 resistance again. Yeah, it is. How much of that is for this week? Uh, Quite a lot of it sold out on March too. Vol's starting to fall off. Realizing it was flattening out. Mm. Tesla? Let's see. Tesla bounced from under GN, but it immediately ran into resistance. What was that? Like the test of 360? That's probably not a great level for it. Uh, it's got a little bit of support at 55, but if it fails 55 again, what did it close Friday at? 355.84? Mm. All right. I would say it looks kind of bearish. A lot of things are kind of mixed this week, like right in the middle of positioning. Okay, I have an idea. You're gonna want to hear it. All right. MSTR. Ew. Looks choppy. Slight downtick and that one's pretty simple. AMD. Everyone loves asking about this shit lately. There's just a shitload of gallons. Rejected on DN. Failed it again. Uh, hmm. IV's not really picking up, but realized Vol's coming up. Like the shorter dated shit. So Delta. It is becoming the new PayPal of the internet. It's a value trap. It's not really a value trap. They're still growing at a good pace, and they have a ton of addressable market that they can pick up. They're simply overvalued and probably way too honest about their financials to the detriment of shareholders. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I forgot to close my window and it just like swung open. Sorry. Yeah, it's on my screen too. I just ignore it. Um yeah, I'll try to close it in between so you guys can get a better look. BB BB was one of the ones that was picking up a lot of delta recently. It looks like that's kind of topped out. A little bit of a little lower peak of total delta on the chain and way lower peak of total gamma on this second move up. Looks like it's probably topping out here around $5.56. I don't think it's going to go much higher. Um, Volatility on the 30-day is not really coming down yet, though. So it may chop between. Is realized wall coming down there? Hold on. 10-day realized walls still kind of elevated. Maybe 60 is coming down. 90 a little bit. Yeah. All right. So this one's all right. Fine. I'll look at Rivian. Hmm. Interesting. Looks a little bit bullish. There's plenty of out of the money interest up to about $18. 18 to 20 is a little tough. Volatility is moving up on the 30. Going nuts. Here on the 10-day. Oh, when do they have earnings? Hold on. Earnings is Thursday. Yeah, I mean, but HV10's just starting to pick up. It's pretty well supported at 1350. Resistance. Oh, Wolf. Yeah, Wolf was looking kind of good last week. I think I bought some calls on that. Yeah, Wolf needs to get above 650 still. But tons of sold put support at 6. I know it retested GN on Friday and failed a little bit. But if it can get above GN, still picking up quite a lot of delta. Picked up another shit, like 60 million on Friday. And Gamma hasn't quite turned positive, but it's getting kind of close. Volatility has super suppressed, but realized vol is quite elevated, so we might see that move up as well. Yeah, there's if it can get to positive, Gamma opens up quite a bit of range to the upside, at least like 750, which at its current price is a pretty significant percentage change. So yeah, I think it still looks good. PAX? Yeah, I can check out PAX. I don't think we have data on PAX though. At least not for their options chain, but I can pull it up on TradingView. So PAX beat on earnings by quite a lot, 64% more on EPS than expected, and 34.6% above expected revenues. So we're starting to see some returns from those infrastructure investments that kind of cratered the stock over the last mm, six months or so. Um, really, really since like Feb of last year. So over the last year, a lot of that capital outflow gave a really nice buying opportunity on this, and ended up actually getting some far cheaper than I expected, under $12. Right now, it's testing the upside breakout, but on a pretty strong reversal. I think we could continue to see this play out over the next several months, and a move higher. Brazil's currency will benefit from a falling dollar. And right now, Brazil looks like a very attractive trade partner if the US were to implement tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and Europe and China. Um, Brazil has an abundance of natural resources, and a pretty direct shot for shipping into the US. So I think things are starting to come back around. I mean, I know like our entries on packs we're kind of back here. Sorry, that's gonna pop up. Um, like back here in the like 12 to 13 range. We did have a little bit of I think the actual pickles pick was back here, but we did have a little bit of upside since then. But yeah, over the last few months it's really dove under cost basis, but it's returning, so I mean that's good. Normalizing. I'm assuming most of the pickle jar is probably in somewhere in the $12 to $13 range at this point. So this is good. Good news. Thanks. I've been selling puts. How's liquidity been? Like I could have us pull the options chain if the liquidity is not too bad. Like the dividend's so high, I wouldn't expect the liquidity to be very good. It's like 4.93%. So, but if you're getting decent liquidity on it, it might be worth pulling the options chain, seeing what it looks like at least. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me make sure there aren't any that I'm missing. It just seems safe. Thought about picking up shares. Yeah, I have shares. I have shares, and I'm gonna keep it on drip as long as it stays under like 1450. I think they have a very good chance of seeing some significant improvements to their share price over the next couple of years. More so if Trump actually leans on Brazil as a trade partner. Because all of their investments are in like Brazilian real estate and Brazilian infrastructure, and they'll have to scale up infrastructure substantially if they're going to try to trade more heavily with the US. Pax liquidity sucks bad. Okay. Yeah, I can't see a lot of people selling options on it, but A, B, and B. Hmm, does it? A, B, and B has been like a rut for a while now. Spot moved over Gamma Mags. Oh, because earnings. They beat. Mm, yeah, revenues were a bit better. EPS is a lot better. I don't know. I wouldn't touch it. Right? It's like post earnings on a big vol and delta spike. The options chain will have to like normalize, and it's probably going to be pretty unpredictable from this point higher. Uh, might have room up to like 170 to the upside before it runs into a little bit of resistance. There's not a lot of delta out here though, so it's still probably more likely to retreat. And it already kind of got rejected off of the 165 level, right? Yeah, a little before the 165 level. I would say if it fails 160, it's going to fall back to like 155 or 150 even. I wouldn't touch Airbnb with a 10-foot pull. It can be pretty unpredictable. Volatility is just going to be elevated because it moved up so much. Realized vol pick up. I would say as realized vol picks up and vol falls off, like maybe a few days, it might be. Mm, okay, there is a play here, but it's super greedy, and it would be to be like sell the in the money call spread and see if it kind of reverts back to like 155 or 150 on like realized vol picking up and like IV falling post earnings. But it's really risky because I mean the beat on earnings means that more bulls are going to come in near spot, and you don't know how they're going to position. So, yeah, you could. It's just a little dangerous. Tell me more G-Gen stuff. Every time I do that, you guys blow your fucking ports up. Is the play to rent an Airbnb to mine Bitcoin and have them pay for the electric bill? Yes, but you need a portable Bitcoin miner. I feel like WMG and U plays. Well, I didn't get into WMG because it doesn't have a lot of upside left, but U looked really good. I might actually play that this week if it doesn't move up too much in pre-market. Like if it moves up to 23 in pre-market, I may not. But the Airbnb play is actually probably a higher percentage chance of profitability than either one of those. Because like if you did like the Feb 28, yeah, I'd probably want to do like Feb 28. 160. That's not that bad. Maybe like maybe the 21's got better liquidity. There's 62% chance. It's backwards. 38%. $250 spread, 138 credit. So like 55% return on collateral. That's not terrible. You could go riskier with it. Like 78% return on collateral if it falls below 57.50. Remember, Gamma Max is like 155, 150. And if you did the short dated one, you could just close it on like any drop and pick up like 40 or 58%. So this one's probably far more realistic than just like longing weeklies on Unity. You need to rent like a Verbo where the rich person who lives in it isn't paying attention to their electric bill. And then the cost of like you have to mine enough Bitcoin that it pays for the Airbnb. That's hard. But if it's like some dude that's like you're like renting like a addition on his like 4 bedroom ranch, he's gonna fucking know and throw you out immediately. But with like a Verbo, like you got like a Verbo on the beach somewhere in California, some like Russian oligarch's house. He has no idea what his electric bills actually are. You could probably get away with it for a few months. Fuck off. No one's mining Monero. Anyway, yeah, something like this, or like that would be a little bit less risk, or you could do the out of the money, which kind of sucks. But even then, 32% on collateral, 40%, 48% on risk. It's not bad. I don't like it as much as the downside play, but or like the in the money play because your max loss is a lot higher. You also have to worry about early assignment, which is kind of dog shit. All right. Should have checked if the rental has 220 plugs in the garage for EV charging. Yeah, yeah. That's what I assumed you meant. Or just unplug the dryer, right? So make sure it has like a washer and dryer or an electric range. All right, so SMR. Spots around 2308. This doesn't look very good. Quite a lot of delta fell off the chain and gamma over the last few days. It looks like it's starting to head back to gamma neutral. There's a little bit of support at 22, 2150, but it doesn't look very bullish. Realize vol's flattening out, IV's coming down. Yeah, I would say it's probably just gonna fall back to support. Fucking Reddit again. Jesus Christ, man. Reddit looks like shit. They miss on earnings? Oh, users came down. There's a little bit of uptick in gamma on Friday, but delta's been falling off pretty consistently for a few days now. Uh, 195 is not a very good support here. I think no delta on the Reddit chain at all. Fall nosedived following earnings. Jesus. Yeah, Vol's getting crushed out really hard here. I would say it probably continues down, like 190, maybe down to 180. And then there's a little bit of support down there at like 180. Um, got a goodie in the shark fin for you. Do I need to refresh? What'd you do? Ooh! Well, that looks fancy. I like that. Nice. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the change is purple. I like it. Was it Dork? Because they look like wieners. No, Dork didn't make the wiener sliders. Nuke did. Damn, DJT dumped $136 million in Delta. Is that gonna fail Delta neutral? Ooh. Thicker bullish bearish and hover color. I like it. Can we fix the like the trailing edge of the bar so it doesn't get cut off? Or make them all get cut off? So it like fills in the little semicircle at the end. I'll accept a timeout. I'll give you one. I might need to cancel GS after we have another kid. Actually, I'm going to view my new addiction as training for my inevitable sleep deprivation. Or just make money and pay for it. You know? That's what you're here to do. That looks awesome. Way better. I like it a lot better. Full bar above 100%. Yeah. Yeah. It's fresh. Ooh. That looks like dog shit too. I love this scanner. Oh, I'm gonna fuck with this so much. Hmm. Ooh. Someone had shitty earnings. What the fuck is that? Gross. Wait, people aren't making money with this? I don't know. I assume everyone is. Can you check forward yield on vol in correlation since you weren't here Friday? Yeah, we could take a look at it. And correlation's still just marching up, I think. Hold on, I gotta set it up. So I had to restart my computer. Nope, that's the wrong one. Can't believe you can't just code these yourself at this point. Yeah. Hold on. Fix all the fucking macro charts. Mm-hmm. Damn. Forward yield on vol is like negative 14 right now. Oh, it's super low. Carry trade's falling off though. I wonder how long they'll be able to keep floating shit with the dollar dropping. Dollar's even down a little bit again today. Yeah. Dollar might pull back to like 105. Hmm. TQQQ makes you want to do things. Why does it keep giving me paper trading notifications? Did they like change their paper trading thing? Hmm. Is that log? Why the fuck is that so far off? Uh, so you want to short the new normal? This is the return to normal. Everything's going to be fine. Our country's great. Don't you listen to what our president says? Oh, you know what I could do? Hold on. Let me pop up my cheat code for TQQQ. Where is it? Oh, no, it's not in there because I never published it. Genius. Well, that's significantly less bullish than the prior two peaks. But we may still get a little bit higher high off of it before it fails or starts to fail. It's at Gamma Max. It's happened before. It's not quite at Gamma Max. It's very close. It's, well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of at Gamma Max. 79. Wow, it closed exactly at GM. Dirk will be happy to hear that. Hmm. Yeah, it could still move a little higher than GM. Like maybe up to like 92 before it fails. I still think it's got like a slightly higher high in it. Jesus Christ, QQQ's gamma curve is fucked. QQQ still has a ways to go before it hits GM. Although it almost never tests it. Hmm. Not picking up a lot of Delta. Short dated shit, but nothing longer. Ball's still coming down. Yeah, I think QQQ might still get out to like 540. I would say both on the options chain and my cheat code for QQQ that there could still be like a slightly higher high here. Yeah, maybe like 91, 92, somewhere in there. The fuck is that? It's a cheat code for TQQQ. See, it goes above the line, bearish, big bear. Below the line, big bull. Bear, bull. Bull, 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 bull. Bull, 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 big bull. Little bit of bear. Bull again. Bull, 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 bull. And then maybe bear. Give me that right now. Absolutely not. It works really well, though. Look at 2022. Big bear. Bear, bear, bear. TQQQ bullometer? Yeah. I mean, the gamma curve on QQQ was a jagged mass. Yeah, it was. This is like out of the money IVs, probably. It's probably not. What the? Yeah, I know. It's awesome, right? So when it goes below the line, I just go long TQQQ. And then if it starts moving back towards the line, I go short. And then when it goes back below the line, I go long again. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's. I have no idea what I'd do for anything that helps me short tech better. This is really a far better bull signal than it is a bear signal. Because, I mean, bearishness tends to be fairly short lived. But things are starting to like normalize a bit. See how the like green line, like the EMA is starting to flatten out? And this is not like MACD. This is very different. But this like flat shit is not bullish. You want that to be continuing to move down consistently. How much? You don't have enough. All right. Anyway, let's get to the market because I don't think JFresh and Dork are showing up. And it's already like 3:30. I've run through like 1,000 stocks. So we're above right now. We're above the bull confirm. We haven't pushed out above the prior high on Jan 31, and we still haven't cleared the Jan 24 high. SPX is trading at around 61.30 right now. A bit up from Friday's close. SPX itself should be above the all-time high. The fuck? Get out of here. Yeah, SPX should be right above the all-time high going into open. Collar's up at 61.65. So there's some room to the upside there. And that's end of March for the collar. So not really close to the expiration on it, but it's definitely a little bit weaker than it was. So I could see us pushing up a little bit higher here, but not much. If we take a look at like the options macro shit, put leverage picked up a little bit from Friday's close. And so we definitely still have like a bullish push into the start of this week. And we're still well supported. I mean, most of the puts are down at like 0.32 moneyness, so like 3% out of the money for the majority of the sold puts. And there's a tiny bit of room to climb some call delta to the upside as put delta falls off. The fuck is going on with URI? Interesting. Okay. If we go back and look at like what was it, like last Friday? Total put leverage, or yeah, total leverage on puts is still a little bit lower than we were last week. And it's continuing to just decline. Out on SPXW, it's kind of hard to climb to the upside. But we are in a positive gamma and delta environment, so the market maker is at least still supportive here. It's just there's not a lot of gamma to be gained at each upside move, like each strike to the upside. But stable. Things are really stable here. Vol and realized vol are still coming down on the 30-day. Down really hard on the 10-day. Gamma max is out at 61.95. I don't think we get that high. Total gamma has been falling off of the chain for a little bit ever since like Jan 23rd. Gamma, like total delta has been declining, and we lost a little bit of the upside gamma on Friday. Going into tomorrow's expiration, yeah, we still have some bullish interest out to like 61.40. There's some resistance at 20 and 30. If we open around here, we'll probably drop on the intraday. Like if we open around like 60, 40, or 50, we'll probably pull back a little bit on profit taking. There's plenty of support at 6100 still. That's probably persists out into the end of this week. Yeah. A little bit of support at 60.75 as well. So we're probably not going to fall back too much. If we open higher, there's a little bit of room to pull back, but something actually, yeah, let me go back to that. This is a little bit more important. There's just not a ton of delta to the upside. It kind of falls off after 21 out to like 35. And then we can pick up a little bit of delta going out to 50, but above 50, there's like nothing. So we might push for a new all-time high here. I would say it looks kind of bullish. Unless there's some kind of shock or something. A push out to like 61.50 doesn't seem unreasonable. There's not nearly as much short vol on the chain as there was on our previous pushes up. Gamma max is kind of falling on the monthly, but it's still way the fuck out of the money. VN isn't pulling back towards spot. DN and GN are still moving up. And like total like gamma here is really low for the AM contract this week. That's insanely low. It's only at like 14 billion. Adjusted deltas at Still negative, negative 29 billion. Right. Yeah. Should be an interesting expiration. It's a little bit bigger. It looks like it's gonna be a little bit bigger than the Jan expiration. On indexes, Jan's generally kind of small on indexes, much bigger on individual equities. Yeah, I would say we probably have some upside over the next couple of days at least on the back of the positioning. And it looks like we've already realized some of that. We're around like 6130 SPX right now. So I would say, oh, where's my thing? Hold on. I hate it how TradingView just takes down all my indicators every time I restart the fucking app. Oh, you piece of shit. There we go. So yeah, probably continue to move to the upside and test around. JFresh won this week, but he's not here, so is that mine? Yeah, let's see. I don't think we get to the collar. We could, but I'd say like end of day Tuesday. Then flat into the end of the week. Maybe back to like 6100 end of week. You only get one. You only get one prediction this week. There we go. Straight to zero. Yours is just long standing. I don't need to change it. It'll always be there. Can you post the tickers you went over after the stream and start Pickle's picks for tomorrow with that? I want to look at them tonight after work. That's what I do every week. Now you're making me want to not do that. Don't be a dickhead, alright? It's a boring grind this week unless news. Well, we're probably not going to get a lot of shocking news, right? Like, nothing's happening with tariffs for a little while. Um, we're past retail sales and CPI and shit. Japanese GDP was a bit of a surprise. But I think mostly we get like a lot of foreign data this week, which could impact the dollar a lot. Um, but the rest of the shit, we get like FOMC minutes on Wednesday, I think. Building permits. We get Japanese inflation Thursday. Bunch of like foreign PPIs. We got some Philly stuff. There's a 30-year tips auction, which is probably kind of important. I think we have a 20-year bond auction this week, so the bond auctions will be fairly important on the intraday. We've got home sales and Michigan on Friday. But yeah, mostly foreign shit. Friday also has S&P PMIs, which will be important for measuring whether we're overheating or not, which is a big fear in the bond market. So back half of the week could be a little bit more impactful, but the front half of the week, not unless we get some like really fucking crazy data out of the EU or something. I don't think we have to worry about that right now. But anything that hurts the dollar narrows the spread on the carry. So Thursday is Walmart earnings. That's a good bellwether. So straight to zero. Did you catch that? Right. Nice. My $5 put on Apple should print so hard. Yeah, I don't think we're going to zero. I think we're gonna get to like 145, 150 pretty early in the week. Canada, Mexico tariffs are March 1st. Nope, everything's delayed. Or well, all retaliatory tariffs are delayed. So the Canada Mexico negotiations might continue uh, on March 1st. But all the retaliatory tariffs are off the table until the Treasury's done conducting their review, which will be April. Or no, he's not having who's he having doing it? Not the Treasury, the U.S. Trade Department. 3 p.m. Eastern, President Trump speaks. This high-profile address calls for valuable insights into administration policies and economic priorities for Tuesday, Feb 18th. Okay, there you go. So that could drive some volatility. We'll see how that turns out. I'm interested to see how, like, how things move around with like margin requirements this week, and if SLD turns out more bearish than expected, because if like short vols, like we've had so much volatility that short vol has been spooked, and now they've got this window, and like with Trump pushing out the retaliatory tariffs, and we got 2 weeks. We're guessing we have 2 weeks till Mexico Canada tariffs, and we've got a month and a half till retaliatory tariffs internationally. And so yeah, I think this period, it's going to be very important for assessing what short vol does. Like the first thing they did is pile in, right, and get as much risk off the table as possible. Index is up. But now the question will be, do we see them add to that, or are we gonna see that like short vol interest continue to bleed off and risk off? And if risk off continues, that's probably a really bad sign. Like things are already getting a little too volatile to just fucking short every put in sight. I think we're kind of seeing that with skew a bit. Like skew's starting to really like flatten out. The like our prior two peaks were previous to all of this shit. And like even Friday, where things got really bullish, skew's staying kind of leveled off around that midpoint since like November. So are we starting to find the top? I mean, I don't think anybody wants to buy anything else, and we're out of money functionally. Like there's no more money to buy more top. Like we probably have 2% range. J Fresh is right about that. At least I've also independently come to that conclusion that like everyone's kind of just tapped out here. Like really the market can only grow at the rate that supply increases at this point. Everything's maxed out. All the leverage is maxed out like to the tits. Japan's only going to continue raising rates, so nobody can lean on that more now. And they're pulling it back slowly, but any rapid decline in the dollar is going to expose all that risk really, really fast. He did like a little write up last week, I think, on his Twitter. Was it last week or like Friday, something like that? He did a little bit of a macro assessment. But yeah, I mean, I don't think anything's growing faster than the rate of the money supply increases. So, and if we start attacking the EU with tariffs, money supply is going to stop increasing and start going down. And there's a whole lot of room to the downside. Just the upside's kind of limited. Risky to build a put position up here then. I mean, if volatility continues to come down, I think there will be a good opportunity to pick up longer dated puts if that's something that you want. I would wait until 3 month vol falls more. And that's been kind of the problem with the last few peaks and why I haven't been picking up like a lot of Vega puts is because 3 month vol has stayed pretty elevated and it's really only been like 30-day volatility that's been getting crushed. So there's still like there's a lot of worry the further out you get. And that's made longer dated puts far more expensive. Like the the ones I bought back in what was it, like Jam or whatever. Um, I still just have those, and I don't think they've gotten cheaper at any point. Even when like the market moves up and the vol crushes out, like the 3 month vol has stayed pretty elevated. Yeah, the last time I bought a substantial amount of Vega puts was the 20 June 2026 ones, and that was back in December. It's a good time to sell bear call spreads at SPXW Gamma Max, like Tuesday before SLD. I mean, Gamma Max historically tends to be a pretty safe spot to sell bear spreads. SPXW Gamma Max is really far from spot, but I mean, if you're selling some theta on them, maybe it's worth it. It's at 61.95 right now. Although on a test of 50, yeah, there might be a window to sell those. Has forward yield on vol ever been stuffed while correlation is rising? Is correlation rising? Hold on. I mean, first of all, yes, the forward yield on vol generally gets stuffed really hard right before vol spikes really hard. But let me take a look at correlation because I haven't. Mm, correlation's just kind of like the dispersion trade hasn't really picked up. Oh, I'm sorry. The dispersion trade hasn't picked up like a ton of interest since Jan, really. I mean, this is the most it's picked up since Jan, like the beginning of Jan. But it's all on the like the short dated dispersion. It's like 30 days. Which makes me think like if Nvidia earnings misses, this whole thing's just gonna pop. How's that rising while VIX is getting boofed? Well, it's not really rising. I mean, relative to what? Correlation's pretty fucking low right now. It's not as low as it was in like July of 2024, but it's pretty fucking low. It's near the lows of like the last 6 months. No core 1 month. I mean, core 1 month isn't rising very much either. It turned around a tiny bit on like the end of day Friday. Your yellow indicator? Oh, you're talking about. Oh, you're talking about this, right? This is because volatility is getting shorted in the near term, but not the long term. So if you look at the forward yield of volatility, right, the expectation is that volatility is going to rise into the future, but expectations for volatility in the now are very low. And so correlation tends to break down when you get a lot of vol shorting further out on the curve, right? And so we see that here, back in December. We see that here back in like Feb of 2024. That's when like confidence is really really high that volatility is going to stay low. Right now, confidence is not high that volatility is going to stay low, and so the correlation with VIX and cash VX, like the VX contract in front and cash VIX is they're very highly correlated. Yeah, it's kind of wound tight. Like I said, if this misses, like if Nvidia earnings miss or are way below expectations, the dispersion trade will probably break down. And given the high correlation, it would probably break down very, very rapidly. We see the same thing in the like forward yield of volatility, which you can look at over here, right? Like the forward yield on vol has just been fucking slammed since the beginning of this month. Now we haven't moved substantially higher on the index, but they have slammed that forward yield down as hard as they could. So selling SVX condors would be risky since VIX can spike up at any time in our current conditions. Yeah, there's some risk in selling condors. Can you argue a bullish stance? Hard to. We stabilize. War in Ukraine unwinds and brings commodity prices down a bit, but that doesn't fix the debt problems. If anything, it could exacerbate them. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be selling 30 DTE condors in these conditions. Little just sounds mad-ish. Yeah, I mean that's the I would say that's the most bullish outcome is meh. Like the bubbles, we're at the top of like what is mechanically viable for the bubble. So we either need the Fed to start printing money again and doing QE. Like we need the money supply to rise more to continue this shit. Otherwise, flat like a pancake. Although, I'm gonna quit doing this if our lost decade is just us trading at 60 fucking 200 for the next 10 years. I guess we'll have the world's best short signal. There goes my post library career. As long as I can use GS to make money around 6,200, I'm good. Yeah, that's fair. What level of Vega do you look at for puts? Usually like 5, 6. Sometimes a little higher when I'm less confident in the amount of room to the downside. But I mean, right now we have about 3.3% that we can fall before there's any substantial risk. Which would, probably spike VIX back to like 18, 19. It still needs to break 110, yeah. Oil's been kind of stagnant, so I can take a look at it, but I don't think it's that interesting. Yeah. I'd be looking for lows on ZOM here, honestly. Like it's failed 110 so many fucking times. Yeah, I'd be looking for entries around like 106, 105. Like either like CSPs or like go long the 105 and wait for the because it's just bouncing back and forth. We got a little bit of a breakout on like the 10th and the 11th, but not great. Yeah, probably just need a little bit of patience. I wouldn't sell it when it's trading at 108. Also, this got rejected hard off 110 on Friday, so it might get a little bit more momentum to the downside following the divvy. I wish you'd announced earlier what time stream. Well, now you get to watch the whole thing at 2x the speed after I'm gone. But I am now gone. I've been doing this for like 2.5 hours. When U.S. debt downgrade, the second we do something stupid or change something. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you tomorrow. Later.